All right, cyber traders, welcome on back here this Monday, March 8th, shortly after 2:30 p.m. Eastern time. Welcome on back here for our afternoon meeting. Let's get a quick sound check just to begin. Make sure everybody can hear me loud and clear. Got to give a quick shout out to Chuck, but before I even do so, we'll talk about Chuck's trading in just a second. And for all of us joining the trading room, welcome on aboard. I'd be remiss if I didn't start off by saying Happy International Women's Day to Leda, to Kathy, to Sharon, to Kathleen, to Monica, to the ladies of the trading room, of course, to the lovely ladies in my life right now. But great to see everybody, including, as I just said before, all of our ladies today. Happy International Women's Day. We have Express pushing up pretty nicely heading into this afternoon. We'll talk about that in just a moment. We ended up doing pretty well across the morning here today. As you can see, the Dow up almost 600 points right now from start to now. But, outside of the market pushing up nicely, we've done pretty well across the board, going long, going short, squeezing stocks up, squeezing stocks down. So great to see, a lot of us pick up some good money earlier on today to start the week off. So for right now, at least, Express heading into the afternoon, pushing up beautifully. It just broke above resistance off of 4, a little pop and drop at least from there. But zooming in on the chart, something I want to just show really quick. I mean, easily enough, we're just going to put this on our watch list, Express. But we ended up seeing this just break out above resistance over 4, topped off at 409. But look at the size of the spike. That's a lot of volume coming in off the breakout over resistance off of 4. So, even though it's been a little choppy the coming minutes after that point, it's pulled back. If this could re-break above 4, I would expect to see a new run-up on this trade. At the same time as I say that, though, keep a good eye out on GameStop GME. Up 37% still and actually squeezing up right now. But, up until the afternoon, the stock was doing really well on the way up. And then just before going into like 12:30, 1 o'clock, as you can see, GameStop hit its high right around 210 and pulled back. We're not really trading GameStop in our trading room too frequent, but it's the others, just like Express, obviously AMC. We'll probably talk more about this one in our Traders Talk workshop tomorrow. This one was up big in pre-market with GameStop, so this was one of the bigger squeezes up today that we caught. But you could see that, all these stocks were moving to a good degree with GameStop, as that had pushed up pretty nicely. Just right now, Express making a pretty volatile push. AMC a little choppy here right now, but I'm telling you, if GameStop can make one more pop up, then I would imagine AMC go with it. Check out BlackBerry, perhaps. What else? Bed Bath Beyond, perhaps 2. BB at the high of the day right now, testing 10. Bed Bath Beyond. Let's take a look over 10% also at the highs right now. Now, whether you call it with the market or just pushing up with GameStop, we ended up seeing all of these stocks make the same exact squeeze going back into the end of January, beginning of Feb, and they all dumped off after. So we're not really trying to swing trade these, but it's to say if we can get in and out quick, then just provides good volatile opportunity for us. So I don't mind for right now just putting Express on our watch list, putting AMC on the side, coming back to AMC at the end. And I'd probably say the same with BlackBerry at least. And I guess while I'm at it, I'll write down BBBY. Why not? But at least for right now, Express making the sharper move up for right now. So I'll put that on our main watch list. Leda asking, are AMC earnings this week? So I thought that they were the week before or even the week before that. I guess I was wrong with that, or perhaps Benzinga Pro ended up being wrong, or maybe AMC moved their earnings. But I ended up seeing my calendar going into this week, Leda. AMC confirmed earnings for this Wednesday afternoon. And not only that, actually going back to Express has earnings confirmed for Wednesday morning. I had to double check to make sure it's actually confirmed and not like just a tease like it was a couple weeks ago. But yes, confirmed Express earnings Wednesday morning, the 10th, and then the 10th after the close, AMC. All right, so with that, it's pretty funny because with the market up as much as it is, and with GameStop and AMC and even the OPGN all moving up nicely today, our top percent gainer, pretty much, I mean, the warrants are number 1, but I mean, I can't believe ICE still made the pop that it made from pre-market heading into the open here. So really quickly to go over this one, and then we'll go from top to bottom, but the ICE trade in pre-market trading this morning, it ended up building this nice trend line off the highs, and that was going into 9 o'clock. Like right off of these highs, it was holding perfectly. So once it broke out from here, I was expecting a bit of a pullback. I expected the pop above the trend line, but I didn't expect it to move up much higher from it at the time. So nonetheless, it pulled back, and going into the market open, it made a repeat move here. It dropped. I would have thought for a stock to go from 2 to 989 back on Friday and then up even more a bit in pre-market today. I would have expected that stock to pretty much just drop off and tank. So I didn't take part in this run, but once it broke out higher going into or shortly after the open, broke out from the trend line again, popped over 10. There was a bit of a shake to it. It wasn't like as clean as I'm saying it is here, but you could see on the 5-minute chart, broke out, pulled back. Once it broke out higher, man, this thing ended up running all the way up to like $15 practically. And then from there, just unfortunately, this is like the mess that comes out of it after. So for a stock that moves up as much as this did, I wasn't really as antsy to try and trade it going into the open. I know a few of us did really well on this trade. At the same time as I say that, I said it earlier during our live audio broadcast. For all of us that did well on this trade, I know there's a few of us that got caught slipping on this trade or maybe got in at the right place just at the wrong time and ended up paying for it. So here's what I'm going to say to everybody, just for all of us live inside our trading room, all of our students. Hey, if you got caught on this trade, please let me know. If there's a part of this trade or really any other trade for that part that you would want to go over with us, please. We don't bite. That's what we're here for. So if you ended up taking a big loss on this trade, if you're still holding on to this trade from earlier, please send over a quick private message. Doesn't need to be public inside the main public chat, but please let us know. We're here to help. Perhaps we'll cover this trade tomorrow inside our Traders Talk workshop. But nonetheless, though, what goes up does come back down, although I didn't capitalize on the opportunity from the market open today. This ended up just topping off and then getting halted a couple times on the way down. That usually spells the end of the run for this trade. So it's back down to where it broke out from in pre-market even here. Maybe it makes a small little squeak up, but I'm not trying to gamble on it. You got the warrants actually the top percent gainer. We weren't going to focus on this, but I just wanted to jump to this number one. It's always weird to see warrants up way more than the equity at times. It's not always the case, but with the news out on eyes from Friday, the pop up higher, I didn't even know they had warrants, but it's interesting. At times you'll see like the equity itself, then the warrant up like that much more, 196% gain today for the warrant. This is still up 60% from Friday's close right now. Just I would only expect for it to, keep going lower at some point today, if not today, overnight. All right. The OPGN, let's talk about this. Not as much, for an afternoon move here, but this ended up doing really well, of course, as you could see after the market opened up. A lot of activity in pre-market, although it kind of fizzled out leading into the open. Took off right away. Shot out like a cannon, broke out from like 235, 240-ish level, all the way up at the time towards 290, and broke out much higher from there. So ended up giving us a few opportunities, even on false breakouts, to where it ended up breaking out higher. And then on the pullback, even you could see it drop down essentially towards 3 and bounced and even broke higher here going into the afternoon. I mean, when this moves up to 4, I mean, this is like a quick little free lesson here. We talk about this practically every day, every week, but heading into this time of the day for a stock up as much as OPGN was, I wouldn't be as jumpy to buy this on the first breakout above a major iceberg level like 4. Perhaps on the next breakout, if it were to give you the opportunity. Unfortunately, as you can see, it didn't really give us a second opportunity to see this break over 4. The second it popped over 4, it fell right back down below it, and that spelled the end of the run there. So, yeah, right now, OPGN just continuing to dump off. Same thing with this, as I said before on the ICE trade. All right, Jaguar Health. I don't know the news on this. I'll actually just jump to Benzinga Pro really quickly. I have it right below me on my other monitor. So we're pretty familiar with this trade. Jaguar Health trading higher on continued strength from Friday after the company announced it entered a binding agreement of terms for a third non-dilutive royalty financing transaction. That's not a mouthful. Jeez. All right. So this ended up making a continued move, I guess, in pre-market, but then after the open, took off pretty nicely. Long story short, it built up a really good trend going into the mid to late morning, even heading into the early afternoon. Failed to break out over 250, and once the volume kind of died off, more people started taking profits. Then from there, it just kind of fizzled out. So, it's just flat. Is it possible it makes a second move up? It didn't really dump off too much, so I guess it's possible. Now, right now, it doesn't really seem like it's worth watching just yet. Oh, whoops, I jumped over the ANCN trade. Ooh, what the hell's going on here with this CHS? I wasn't intending on really just running right into this. I didn't know this was moving. So pretty interesting. CHS. I guess while I'm at it, I'll put this on our main list. It's a nice find. Cheap, good spreads, good liquidity. I'll just check out the news on this. I don't know what the hell's going on. I just skipped over ANCN, which I think that was actually the top percent gainer in pre-market. I wanted to go over that pretty quick just to say it dumped off after the open. But CHS news from pre-market this morning, 8:49 Eastern time. Company trading higher after it announced a partnership with a nonprofit organization, Ladies Who Launch. I guess that's the name of the nonprofit, Ladies Who Launch, on International Women's Day. There we go. Announces its inaugural partnership with Ladies Who Launch, a nonprofit org with a mission to celebrate and empower women's entrepreneurs. There we go. All right, cool. Nice pop here on the CHS. And I guess good timing with today being International Women's Day. All right, cool. So, yeah, definitely. This will make the top of the list right now. The ANCN trade, let's just jump to really fast. Not much to talk about, I guess, on this. Making the same move as the ICE trade right now, the OPGN, big pre-market push, pop from Friday and gapped up more in pre-market this morning. But as you could see, look how sharp the volume dies off here. Once it ends up running up, it didn't even make a false breakout over 7, just held at 694 the peak, and then just snapped back down. All right, I like that CHS, really. That looks pretty good. Yeah, yell here, YELL. I'm not going to yell when I go over this stock, but nonetheless, this stock pushed up pretty nicely going into the afternoon. Big volume breakout when it popped over 7, topped off at 775 pretty nicely. I don't mind writing this down at least, not on the main list. Maybe I'll come back to it near the end. All right, let's just skim through here, folks, see if there's anything else just looking pretty active, pretty good. Any familiar names, just going to jump to them pretty quick. WKHS, I'll just go over the news on this because this made a crazy pop heading into the late morning here, right off 11 o'clock Eastern time, pop from 1450-ish all the way up towards 1775 and flattened out. So there was a report that came out this morning. Workhorse shares spiked to a session high following report U.S. House to introduce bill to provide postal service with $6 billion to buy the added electric vehicles. So with that, hey, nice pop. Interesting though that we didn't really see much continuation after. It was pretty much just like a, not to say buy the rumor, sell the news type deal, because it came back down and almost as quickly as it popped. Obviously it popped right away, but it right off the halt, it fizzled right back down. And right now, it's not doing a whole lot. So maybe this will be a bigger move going into this week, tomorrow, Wednesday. That we'll be following the stock regardless of this news that came out today. But, you would have thought this would have led to more movement across the day, if not a bigger move entirely. So another one going with AMC, GameStop. It's just super low float, the cost trade. It's not really going much of anywhere right now. But as you can see from the mid to late morning, popped up pretty nicely. All right. Let's just see any other familiar names, just notable names. I saw RWLK get called out a few times here. Ocean Power Technologies, OPTT pop from earlier today. IVMT, same thing. I don't know where this is right now. Yeah, not much going on there. All right, folks, if there's anything else that looks good that's up, I mean, the market's up 500 points, around there still. Kind of slipping here, but Dow up 463. If there's anything else that's up that looks good, type it in the chat board. Let me know. Just going to jump over to the losers list here first. I don't know what's going on with this one here. CBD, as in not CBD, CBD, but this company here. I don't know. I don't know if there was any news on this. I looked early in pre-market. I didn't see anything. Sometimes TradeStation will do that. There was a company, JE, that TradeStation listed down 94%. I don't know if this has to do with any sort of split of any nature, but I can't find any news on this one. Doesn't really look like it did too much anyway. I mean, it's down 77% apparently. I'll find more about this one at least by the end of the day today. If it moves in pre-market tomorrow, I'll certainly put it back on my watch list, but I wasn't really trading this one much. Ooh, ONDS down big. It's shortable. It's at the low of the day right now. It's just like, unfortunately, like really poor volume on the order book. So I was looking at this trade. I was like, oh, it's shortable. Oh, it's at the low right here. Looks good. Nice trend. And just, nope, unfortunately not. For a Monday, we did pretty good. And for a Monday, we don't really have too bad of a list, although there's only 2 stocks just on there so far, Express and the CHS. We'll try and find more, but those 2 will be pretty occupied with already, I'd imagine. So the Vuzi trade down big, it pushed up pretty nicely going into the beginning of last week, and from that point just dropped off pretty hard, perhaps with the market at the time. But although the market pushed back up today, this did not. Hey, folks, that's all I got here across the gainers and losers list. If there's anything else that might not be up as much, but making a sharper pop or drop, moving with the market, news coming out, type it in the chat board. Let me know. John says CBD is a Brazilian ADR. I thought I saw that in the name, John. I didn't want to pronounce the name and botch the pronunciation, but nonetheless, I think you're right there. Mike saying X is up nicely today, drifting lower right now, which is true, like right off its peak, but it's up 11% and it's close to its highs. So that's as good of a reason as any for me to personally put this on our watch list. I love trading my X, so this might be a good day for me to follow this one myself. A lot of buying came in, I'd assume, off the pop from 20, right at 2:25 Eastern time. Can't go back that far on the tape just right now, but if you look on the volume bars here on the TradeStation matrix, that's as telling of a story as you could see. Like, it's not even just 20. You had to have had that smart money print filled at 2002. That might not make as big of a difference to a lot of us here otherwise, but that makes the difference between a good trade and a bad trade. So either way, for right now, I'd still count 20 as a major support level, 2002, dark pool print there. But yeah, for right now, that's a good call. It's up 11%. It was moving with the market on the way up pretty nicely. Market pulled back going into 230. And X still pretty strong, though, in relation to that. All right, Chuck, who I want to give a shout out to just before I was going to. Chuck did really well. I think he picked up like 4 or 5 times his normal goal, his day's pay, so to say. Chuck killed it today on the NEO stock. I mean, just over and over and over, long and short, just trading the 50-cent levels and whole numbers exceptionally well. Chuck did not call out NEO. He called out SM, but I wanted to jump to NEO first just to give him some good props. But yeah, NEO's at the low of the day right now, down big. I don't think there's earnings coming out on this one right now, but down big at the low of the day. It seems like a pretty good move for a continued move down, Chuck. A good setup, I should say. So I'm actually going to put NEO on our main list here. I like this one for a short. And then if it fails to break below 35.50, or if it false breaks that and squeezes up with the market going into the final like 30, 45 minutes, then that can make for a potential dead cat bounce, right? But for right now, we're going to follow the market on this trade. So Chuck did call out SM just before. The stock from last week that pushed up pretty nicely. Back-to-back days, down big right now, 9+%. If you did well on this SM trade last week, then perhaps you put it on your main list. I like some of the others so far. I mean, all of them, the 4 that we have on our main list here. Check out GameStop pretty quickly. GameStop not popping, kind of pulling back down. So I'd imagine the same to be said for Express. Shaking back under 4. AMC is not on our main watch list just yet. Just kind of pulling back right now too. All right, got one from Benzinga Pro. I thought I saw one of us call it out before, and I want to give them their due because it's popping right now. Jill. Yeah, Grant. Grant called out Jill just before. Made a nice pop. And yeah, this thing's taken off pretty quickly here. So I'll look up the news, but just needless to be said, this goes right on the top of our list here for right now. All right, so no news yet from Benzinga Pro on this one, or at least they just haven't gotten to it yet if there isn't news at all. So we'll see what comes of it. Normally this stock's kind of like low float, low volume, like pump and dump type play. You saw going back into the end of January, it ended up making that big squeeze up and dump off. So just got to be careful on that. I mean, once the volume traded per minute, the volume bars here begin to kind of drop off drastically. You could even see right here, they did a bit. That's where I'd expect the shakes to start happening. So yeah, we'll put this on our list for right now. I mean, hopefully there's a lot more left to this one. Ooh, the S&P right now, or the SPY is coming down pretty sharply right now. You can see the Dow is pulled back off its high, but if I flip over to the SPY, the S&P ETF, you can see it's making a much sharper drop right now towards its low heading into the afternoon. Obviously, SPY is still up from Friday's close, but looks like we're getting a bit of a pullback right now altogether here. All right, so we don't have too big of a list. What I'm going to just end up doing is putting AMC just on the tail end of the list. Still very tradable, but it's speculative. It needs to pop with the market. Markets need to move back up to a good degree, or GameStop at least, if out of all of those stocks, to make a nice pop and run. If GameStop ends up making a sharp pop and run, at that point I would imagine AMC to go with it. So that's more of a speculative pick on our list. From RJF, eyes was killing me all day. So hard to predict. It's over. It's over, that one. What are your thoughts on OPGN? Same thing. I will at least turn over to that one. It's not moving too fast. That's what I could say. But just for a stock that made such a big move in pre-market, popped after the open, ended up trying to break out higher heading into the afternoon. If it wasn't going to hold near ties by this time, and it, obviously now it dumped off, I'm not expecting this to make another big move up, at least today. I don't know what the outlook is long term or over the next few weeks. We're not swing trading this stock. We're just primarily day trading it, or we did from earlier. I'm not in this myself right now. I'm not in any stock right now. I thought AMC was going to run up on me when I started the meeting, and I didn't jump in, and I was going to be patient with it. And I'm happy that the patience paid off, because AMC hasn't really gone anywhere just yet. All right, folks, so I think that just about does it. Not too big of a list for me heading into this Monday afternoon. Once again, to all the ladies joining us here, maybe just if you had joined a bit late, I wanted to start off, as I'd said here, happy International Women's Day here. All right, so I hope that you enjoy, hope you relax, make a lot of money here heading into this close, of course. But for all of us, I'd say the same thing too. So we have all in total, I think, just about 6 stocks taking us into this afternoon. If there's anything else that makes a big pop, drop, news-related move, we'll look to call it out as it pops up on our scanners. For all of us live on social media, Facebook Live, YouTube, make sure that you go to the banner below if you're looking to join us live inside our trading room. That's Monday to Friday from 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. All right, folks, for all of us live there right now, just bear with me for a quick moment. I know that Rich will jump on pretty shortly. I'm going to jump on a coaching call. I'll be back at 3:30 going into the final 30 minutes of the day. Take care.